The U.S. National Archives discovered more than 700 pages of classified documents that former President Donald Trump took from the White House and stored at his Florida home, before even more materials were seized this month by FBI agents. That's according to a newly disclosed letter the agency sent to Trump's attorney back in May. The large quantity of classified material was found in 15 boxes recovered from his home in January by the National Archives and Records Administration, some marked as top secret. Even after Trump returned documents to the archives, the Justice Department still suspected he had more classified material, according to the letter. The revelations provided more insight into what led to the FBI's court-authorized August 8th search of Trump's residence at the Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach. The May letter was released late on Monday by John Solomon, a conservative journalist who Trump authorized in June to access his presidential records, and posted on the National Archives website Tuesday. It contains additional information about Trump's handling of classified materials, his efforts to delay federal officials from reviewing the documents, and DOJ's growing urgency to get the materials back. The August 8th FBI search was part of a federal investigation into whether Trump illegally removed documents from the White House when he left office in January 2021, after his failed 2020 re-election bid, and whether he tried to obstruct the government's investigation into the removal of the records. During the August 8th search, FBI agents recovered more than 20 additional boxes containing about 11 sets of records marked as classified. In a lawsuit Trump filed late on Monday against the Justice Department over the search, Trump's legal team asked a federal judge to block the FBI from reviewing the seized materials until a special master or independent third party can be appointed.
The Canada-Germany Hydrogen Alliance is a historic step forward for our shared future. Our target is clear: working towards initial exports of Canadian hydrogen to Germany by 2025. And our outcomes are clear as well: creating middle-class jobs and local growth while delivering clean energy that will help fight climate change. But make no mistake, even as we pivot towards net zero, energy needs in the world, as quality of life goes up in the global south and everywhere around the world, the need for clean energy is almost limitless.
According to our National Hydrogen Strategy published in June 2020, Germany expects a need of 90 to 110 terawatt-hours hydrogen in 2030. We plan to build substantial electrolysis capacity in Germany. Still, we have to cover the majority of our hydrogen demands by imports. Canadian and German companies are well positioned in the hydrogen technology market, but producers from other countries, especially China, the U.S., are gaining more and more market shares by scaling up their production capacities. Therefore, we need to take action in order to maintain and further expand our front-runner position.
Brittany Kay Taylor had been in her apartment just 2 days before the flash floods inundated Dallas. Brown, murky water reached the middle of her calves. Her belongings were floating. She shared time-lapse video with Reuters showing her trying to rescue her stuff, some still in boxes from the recent move. The hallway was a swamp. Water gushed from the building into the street. According to Dallas Water Utilities floodway operations, rainfall over the 24-hour period ending Monday night exceeded forecasts. One area in East Dallas had more than 15 inches of rain. Dallas County's highest elected official, Clay Jenkins, says at least one person died after the flood swept away their car. Dallas Council member Adam Bazalda tweeted, "There is literally no meeting or place to be that is worth risking your life." City officials urge residents to stay home. The National Weather Service says flood warnings in parts of Dallas are in effect until at least Wednesday.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was defiant on Tuesday, vowing a tough response on Russian forces if they attack on or around his country's Independence Day. As Ukraine is also set to mark 6 months since Russia's invasion, there is concern among Ukrainian and allied officials that Russia would target civilian and government infrastructure in the next few days. The U.S. Embassy has urged its citizens to leave Ukraine immediately. Zelensky also vowed Ukraine would restore its rule over the Crimea region annexed by Russia in 2014.
We will get Crimea back by any means we deem right, without consulting other countries. As for direct attacks, Ukraine doesn't attack any civilians, neither in foreign countries nor on temporarily occupied Ukrainian territory. We know what we are doing. We know where the military objects and depots are. Ukrainian soldiers are able to work according to plan there.
Як на території іншої держави, так і на території України, але тимчасово окупованої території.
Zelensky's comments came as leaders of dozens of countries and international organizations were taking part in the so-called Crimea platform, most of them by video, in solidarity with Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was among them.
We must continue to insist that Crimea is Ukraine, just as Donetsk and Luhansk are Ukraine, just as every other part of the country is Ukraine. That was our position in 2014. It's our position in 2022.
Fears of intensified Russian attacks followed the killing of Daria Dugina, the daughter of a prominent Russian ultranationalist. She was killed in a car bombing near Moscow on Saturday, which Moscow has blamed on Ukrainian agents, but Kiev denies this. Authorities have told Ukrainians to work from home where possible from Tuesday to Thursday. Zelensky had warned over the weekend that Moscow might try something, quote, particularly ugly in the run-up to Wednesday's Independence Day, which will mark its independence from Soviet rule since 1991. Kiev has banned large public gatherings until Thursday, fearing crowds could become targets.
Wall Street ended slightly lower on Tuesday after data showed U.S. business activity contracted for a second straight month in August. The Dow fell roughly 0.5%, the S&P 500 ended down fractionally, while the Nasdaq finished flat. Traders are split between expecting a 50 basis point hike and a 75 basis point hike as they anxiously await Friday's central bank gathering in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, while some thought Tuesday's weak economic data could suggest the Fed may not be as aggressive in raising interest rates. Jay Hatfield, CEO of Infrastructure Capital Management, wasn't as hopeful.
Today, the market is stabilizing after having sold off hard. And now we're just really waiting for, so the market's relatively stable, waiting for Jackson Hole on Friday. And we believe the Fed will do 50, although it's clearly, we have low confidence in the Fed, that we think they're being too hawkish. The money supply, which is the best leading indicator of both inflation and the economy and the stock market, is down 15% this year alone. But the Fed tends to ignore the money supply and just focus on the labor market. So we think that there's definitely risk they could do 75.
Shares of Zoom Video Communications tumbled 16.5% after the former stay-at-home stock darling cut its annual profit and revenue forecasts. Shares of Macy's rose more than 3.5% after the retailer beat quarterly profit estimates, while Palo Alto Networks surged 12% after the cybersecurity firm posted upbeat quarterly results and announced a stock split plan. Shares of Twitter dropped more than 7% after news of a whistleblower complaint filed by the company's former security chief alleged that federal regulators were misled about its defenses against hackers and spam accounts. Meanwhile, shares of Tesla rose more than 2% as CEO Elon Musk gears up for a battle in court with Twitter after the world's richest person attempted to pull out of his deal to buy the company, citing Twitter's failure to provide details about bot and spam accounts.